Once upon a time, I got deported back to Mexico. You guys have heard this story many times before on many of my other accounts, but I've never given you guys the story of how I built my online business, how I turned one Starbucks cup into a six-figure online business. And yeah, it all started from one Starbucks cup. In this small corner of my master bedroom, this is where my home office started. I used to work for a US-based company Monday through Friday, making about $11 an hour. Slowly transitioned into virtual assisting, and I took on a small side hustle of Starbucks cups. I had absolutely no knowledge about Starbucks cups. As a matter of fact, I had never even drank a Starbucks drink. I was introduced to this by my audience. From the simple question of, hey, can you show us what cups they sell in your Starbucks in Mexico? I had no idea that Starbucks sold different types of cups in every different country, exclusively to different countries. I had no idea that there were collectors all over the world that they would pay hundreds of dollars for one single cup. And I had no idea that I would eventually turn into one of those collectors that would pay $300 to $400 for one plastic cup. In this small corner of my bedroom, I started with my first Starbucks shelf. This was about 7 or 8 months in, maybe even a year. I had developed a small amount of inventory. I had this small shelf that I would roll out in the back of my lives as my background to market my cups and my raffles. I began raffling Starbucks cups, $10 each, $5 each entry. And in this entire journey, I took a lot of L's. There was ups, there was lows, and this was one of my lowest. Some of you probably remember this epic moment of when my entire inventory came crashing down on live. I had no choice but to laugh it off, but inside I was crying. I was dying. I lost about $2,500 worth of inventory thanks to my dumbass baby daddy. But nonetheless, all that was left was a lot of broken Starbucks cups. I had cups from overseas in these collections. I had Philippine cups, I had Mexico cups, I had everything back here. And so this was my business. I would slowly, I even had little makeup bags. I had everything Starbucks was on this shelf. And I was so proud of this shelf. So I would go live, I would market my cups, and I would ramp up raffle entries from $10 to $5 to $50 until I had a wheel that covered the expenses of the cup, profits, shipping, and enough money to buy more Starbucks cups. The majority of the first wheels, I would just flip these wheels. I would make a profit, and with that profit, I would go buy more cups, more expensive cups, more exclusive cups, hard to find cups. It was a vicious cycle. It was sick. I remember I began keeping a spreadsheet to see how much money I was, spending on inventory, how much I was generating as income. And sometimes those spreadsheets would really scare me. I slowly transitioned out of my bedroom. You guys know I began the expansion of my home with the help of my Blue Page. And as my space grew, so did my business. Now that I had more space to store cups and packaging supplies, now I had room to sell. So now instead of just raffling Starbucks cups, I looked into shipping. I found a different shipping option that was a lot cheaper. It would take a lot longer, but people were still willing to pay in weight because these were exclusive cups. So I took on the very first load of cup sales. And like I said, as my space grew, so did my business. And I didn't realize it at the time. I would have never been able to sell cups out of the small corner in my room because I didn't have the space for packaging supplies. I was overwhelmed with the amount of orders in the first 2-3 months because for a good 2 years, I was solely raffling cups. And the only way besties could get a hold of these was by entering the wheels, but it was never a for sure thing. So now I had introduced selling the cups. And at first I was nervous because I thought, what if this drives down my raffle entries? Because now instead of people joining to win, they can purchase them outright. So it was a gamble, it was a risk, but I took it. And it took off. My sales went through the roof. I was so busy, I could barely keep up with orders. I was shipping through the Mexican Postal Service, which is about 45-minute drive to get the cups there. I would lace up my shoes and sign up for a full 8 hours of postal service duty. And then we introduced other items. We expanded into the loteria, into the Barbie craze, the Walmart craze. And with that, we entered our new space. I built an entire floor dedicated to my business to be able to store cups, to be able to package, to be able to work exclusively away from my home without interruptions, and to be able to separate my business from my home, which was the most important thing to me, to be able to balance a work life and a healthy home life. I got a large desk. I still have my original 2 computers, the same Apple desktop or the same Apple laptop and my dual monitor. I set up a studio to record my YouTube videos with plans of a podcast. Again, as my space was growing, so was my business. I was now incorporating more items, more variety. Now I entered the online shop era. I went from raffling cups, selling cups, to now, you know what? I don't have to stick to just cups. I can sell just about anything that people can't get their hands on through my online shop. And the sales took off. And when I tell you they took off, they took off. We were so busy, we could barely fit the inventory and the boxes and the shipments in my truck. Trunk full of packages, loteria, Barbie cups, Starbucks cups, packaging supplies. It was overwhelming. I didn't have enough hands. I had my albañiles pausing the construction on our home to help me with picking up inventory, hunting down cups. I was driving to the post office with packages to the roof, like I was pushing kilos for chops.